that turns on the cameras now. Right? And it's recorded as well. And we'll figure out how to download them, when he comes back, and we'll be putting them on the webpage, hopefully.
No,
Chairs?
I didn't get my back.
You know,
No, I'm going umpire 4 games today.
All meeting to order, roll call, all councilors are here. Public comments?
That's me then. That's why I'm here. So, what can we do about the eyesores around town? We got the Bushy building, which you walk by, smells like mold. You got John Sutherland's house, which is a total disgrace, and where he's town manager, he ought to know better. And, we have the house across from our place. However, they did mow the lawn today, but that really should be condemned, so I know the bank owns it. But is there any way we can get the bank to do something with it or something? Because, especially Main Street, it's pretty sad when you're walking downtown and new people come to town and see it like that. Now, Springs isn't actually the best either, but at least it's picked up around there. But those are my concerns.
We can have Dave see if there's any violations as far as code enforcement, but we found out a long time ago that there's not a lot we can do with people owning, and that's how they wanna live. I know it doesn't look good, and I know it doesn't, but we can't, there's a lot of things we can't do, but we can see if there's any code enforcement violations there. So I can talk to Dave and have him check those buildings. But I know we tried that in Frenchville a long time ago, I don't know if Tyler, you were on, and there was an elderly man that lived in a camp, he had like 50 cats in there, and he had no floor, and we tried to go in, and we were told that there was nothing we could do. I mean, that's how he's choosing to live.
Right, but there's a time when it can be condemned for health reasons as well.
We can't condemn him, because we have no right to condemn him. The only one that can do is the courts. So we can, that's why I said I'll see if Dave can find something to condemn it.
In all three,
Well,
nobody's living in the meeting.
Yeah, I
No,
know, I know.
and there should be a public health office
Yeah.
that could help us out with something like that, too, so.
Yeah, I can have Dave do that tomorrow.
See if there's anything we can do.
Yeah.
What about town ordinance?
That's Dave.
Regarding
Yeah, that's
the
Dave.
upkeep of your
Yeah.
property if it's on a.
We don't have any ordinance, but code enforcement ordinance, we have on that.
We
So,
can't
from what I,
make one?
we could make one, so
Yeah.
from what I remember, we follow the general state guidelines.
Yeah.
And at the time it was talked about, which was I don't know, it was quite a while ago. It was decided that we didn't wanna tell people how they should keep or how they should live essentially, and how they should keep their properties. So I guess it's something that could be looked at, you know, as.
What if it's unoccupied, though, that could make a difference, I
Yeah.
would think.
Unoccupied.
Unoccupied, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mowed the Sutherland place all last year and decided that this year I didn't have time to do it, and nobody around town seemed to be able to do it either. But I did do that, and I do the one next to Freeman's,
Oh, is that,
because I thought that looked like crap. And I got permission from Sarah Brooks to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we can check with Dave
Something
to see if there's any zone, code enforcement violations going there.
None of them
No.
have to
Well, it's my town too.
None of them have to
So we can look to see where that is, you know, and whether maybe we draft up or some type of ordinance or something like
Yeah.
that.
You
I
know,
wouldn't wanna get too restrictive, you know, cause I don't wanna tell people what they should or shouldn't have, but yeah, I agree there probably should be.
Well, and it's like a health hazard.
that was
Oh,
your
yeah.
stick down there, that one, if you go by it, you smell it.
Well, to me, it's disgraces that.
That blue one right,
Used to be a store, Bushy Store,
yeah. Oh, who owns that?
right next to where, Mark Page owns that building.
Isn't that Mo's, Jason owns that?
No,
No,
the-
next door.
Used to get Nola maybe, or?
Yeah, I know those
It was
apparel.
Bushy's,
I made up something to help with Sutherland.
Yeah, we're all.
Whatever you want.
I knew that.
When we get around to it, I don't wanna jump in.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I wanted, yeah.
I was hoping that would happen last year.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing no more questions from the floor, consent items. Review, approve, and sign minutes from May 20th, 2024, regular town council meeting, and June 4th, 24, public hearing, and June 12th, 24, special town meeting, and June 12th, 24, regular council meeting.
Make a motion that we approve and sign the minutes from those meetings.
Any discussion
Yes,
on the minutes?
yes. Under council items, when I asked about whether it was required for MMA classes or not, and you thought it was highly recommended, it's required.
It's required now? Oh, good. That's great.
Yep.
Yep.
So that, I don't know if you wanna change that, or just amend it, or whatever.
It's up to you, I can change it, but at the time when I said it, but I mean, we can change it if you want.
Well, that's what he said in the meeting. so-
Yeah, that's what I said in the meeting, so you can't change that, but I
Okay.
mean, now we all know that it's required,
Okay,
because before they, yeah.
It'll be in this one. It'll be recorded in this one.
right, right.
It'll be recorded in this one, yeah.
Anything else? All right, all in favor?
The first one, you sign, and the rest are right after. This last one is kinda weird, when I copied it, put the next name up for Tyler, and then it's gonna be at Tom. Tyler, and then Tom will be right underneath it, but his name kinda shifted to the other page.
It's actually a line, there's an name on every page.
Yeah, your name's on the other page, Tom, yeah, but it's,
Next item is to review, approve, and sign treasury warrants 23V through 26P.
Make a motion that we approve and sign the treasurer warrant 23B through 26B.
I'll second that.
And then,
yeah.
And then on all of those warrants per week, Sheriff Peterson's pay was taken out of the police account, not to change. Back to you, yes. And that's on all four warrants.
Any other discussion on the warrants?
That's all I found.
Okay. Approve the warrants? Opposed?
Do you two gentlemen like to have a chair?
No, I am all set. Thank you, Bill, very much. No, I'm good. Appreciate it.
Okay, under new business, we're gonna move up, item number 2, so Bill can talk to us.
Okay. We got a few handouts here. See what I'm talking about. Might be some extras if anybody wants them.
I did one in the package, this is what you gave me, Phil?
Oh, yeah,
Just seen it?
that's the same thing. I
Okay,
just
all right,
brought
here.
them
Can you give
to
the people up there?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll take one.
Okay. So, I gotta start from the beginning with this project that we're working on. So, I started as executive director for North Main Woods in February. So, as all of you know, and some people spoke about earlier, that building sits right in, right on the heart of Main Street. And you walk in and it's in disrepair, inside and out, the siding's breaking on it, it's that old vinyl siding. It doesn't meet anything ADA, you know, for accessibility. The foundation's not in good shape, the parking lot's too small. As a lot of you know, a lot of times we have to park on Main Street. So it's really not a good place for the public to come in. So, we started looking at what our options are. So I have actually 2 board of directors I work for, so I brought the issue to them, and they've been working with me on it. And we outlined, at least 6 different scenarios of what we might do. So some of them are building a brand-new building, some are purchasing a building, such as, 266 Masardis Road, the old Frazier, Friends and Carlisle building that's for sale. And one is remodeling the one we're in now. The problem with remodeling the one we are in now is we still have that small lot. There's not enough parking space, we need a garage, we have a tractor that sits outside in the weather all the time, and it's just small. So that building's just over 1,000 square feet of space inside, very small. So, the scenario we put together for that building to make it work and keep us on Main Street, there's a lot of support for North Main Woods office to be on Main Street in Ashland. So we really don't want to move. To make that work, we have to buy that Sutherland property and tear the house down and get that lot. So, as I've been working for months here, putting together financials, you know, all the financial information for all of those scenarios, including building a stick-built building. I got 2 scenarios of building a modular home, putting a modular home in down beside the museum. So in comparing all of those, no matter what we do to have the outcome that we want, we're looking at $500,000 to $600,000 just base price. So in North Main Woods, our organization does not have that much money to do that. If we do that, we employ over 70 people, and at this point, I don't wanna put their jobs in jeopardy and their income so that I can have a building, we aren't gonna do that. So we're still working on the scenario, trying to come up with the best idea, whether it's to build a building, to remodel the one we got, to buy a new one. So one of my board of directors sent me this grant application. So it's called a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. So it's federal money, which is funneled through the state, down through to the applicant. So the hard thing for me is the applicant has to be a municipal county organization. So to be able to apply to this, and we can apply to up to $1 million for it, is acceptable. So if you look through there in this grant application, everything lines right up, it's geared toward recreation properties. Everything lines right up that we would be a really good fit to do that. Matter of fact, there's preference points for rebuilding a building or rebuilding a recreation area versus building new for that. So it really lines up to put a really nice project on Main Street in Ashland, remodel the building we got now, or maybe put an addition on it, buy this other one property, tear it down, and build us a garage, which we need there, and really make that spot look good. So, but I need your support to be able to do it, and be able to access this grant. We're a corporation. We aren't a 503C or whatever it is. We're a corporation, so there's very little grant opportunity for us. But if there's a way that we can funnel this grant through the town and work together on it, that could happen. So it's a 50-50 matching grant. We do have some money aside. We also have a fair amount of donated materials from the wood products industry, siding, Advantech, the zip system boards, all kinds of lumber donated from the industry, which we can use towards the 50% on our side, and of course donated labor we can use. So if you look through there, and I can go through it if you want, you guys are smart. Eligibility, the first step is to get the town to agree that they're interested in this and that it's acceptable to you guys. The next step is, if you see on one of these pages, it says step 1, request a project eligibility assessment, where somebody that's involved with this grant would come look at it and meet with us and say whether this is going to work. So that's what I'm here to ask for tonight, is if the town would want to do that.
Well, the thing is, does he want to sell that?
I talked to him, and yeah,
Okay.
$50,000 for the house, that is. Well, he told me that, and then he said, if you don't buy it, this was back like April, if you don't buy it now, he says, I'm gonna do something and it's gonna cost more.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be sure.
But I think 50,000 would buy that property, and then another 10 or 20, to take the building down and, level up.
But the main thing is, he would be interested
Oh,
in
yeah.
selling it, okay. Well, that would take care of 2 problems right there.
But I really gotta have your support,
Yeah.
you guys actually would have to be the grant applicants. And we'd have to kind of work together to figure out how we wanna go from there, but we really need to do something with the North Main Woods building beside it to make improvements. I do have a Compton's Tree Services coming to take that old, it's a nice tree, but that's going here in the next few days, and I think that's gonna improve it, but it's gonna show just how tough a shape our building is in. The old wooden windows are rotten, the foundation's not in good shape, but with a grant.
Do you have a deadline, when is the deadline?
That's a good question, because the deadline for this year just passed.
Yeah.
So we got at least 12 months, put a really good package together and do our due diligence and get our ducks in a row. So the first thing to do is that first step that we got. I think you and I'm not trying to speak out of turn, but they have to have it approved at a town meeting. There's some reference to that in here when you read it.
Well, you can accept grants, the council allows, for the warrants, to accept grants, on behalf of another organization. The council can do that. You gotta get it approved by the
So
council
we need a
first.
motion for us to.
Yes, you need a motion
like,
from the
be
council.
willing to
Yeah.
go forward.
Yeah.
So, but who would, we write the grant?
No,
Who applies
you
for the
write
grant?
the grant, we are the pass.
You have to go through us in order, so you just handle all
I'm
that?
not sure I have all the answers to those type of questions, but I would like to move forward with it, and if we,
There's time to.
The way it works is he would get the grant, it would be awarded to the town of Ashland
Yeah.
and, North Main Woods. As he was accumulating, starting doing cutting trees, this and that, the invoices would go to us. We would send them to the state, Doug Deck, Outdoor Recreation Program Director, send it to him. He in turn would send the money to the town, and we would write the check for the invoice, after the money is into our account. That's how it pass-through works for it.
So would that show in our, like?
Oh, yeah, that shows, it, like the water and sewer, they did their big thing, that's how they have to do it too, because we have to be the pass-through. So whatever they did over there would be billed to the state, to wherever grant company like this one, and then from there, we would wait till it gets deposited, and then we would, do it, what they call a drawdown, and pay the invoice.
after we're awarded the grant.
After the award, yes.
It's the same thing as the whole tree monies that we
yeah,
have seen passing through.
Yeah, a water and sewer, whole tree, any of those
We've
grants,
seen those coming through, big checks.
that's how they go through.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
the whole
seems big
tree,
checks, but
but
I see.
it's not our money, it's their money.
It's their money, they get
So
their.
it's your, it would
You
be your
can,
money.
not in this packet, but if you go online to the address, you can see the criteria for scoring to award the grant, and we're in everything, we're in the top category, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as, the only thing that we may have to clarify is in the town planning, there should be a need for recreation. Bettering the recreation, and there's an article in there, and I have mine.
That's what would have to go in the meeting.
Well, this is the same grant that the trolley park was under.
This is the, selection process right here, and I can leave that with you, if you guys want to look it over.
This grant thing, so if you apply for $1 million grant and you only need $800,000, what happens with the other remainder of it? Does it go back to the state, does it?
Part of the scoring in there is the better of a grant package we put together, the better the points are. So the more exacting of the estimates that we get from carpenters and construction people,
Okay.
the better the points are gonna be. The better that package looks at, the more likely we're gonna be awarded the grant.
So it'll be less money floating around.
So it should come out pretty close.
Plus, they're gonna have a match, this is a matching grant, so they have to match, let's say, I don't know if it's half of this one, but anyway, so they can use in kind, they can use labor, they can use all that. It's not actually money, it's just money that they count towards their match.
But like the building material, like LP's gonna donate siding, Huber's donating Advantech and Zip, and, Zach Wall's gonna donate some lumber.
And that would be all calculated and not an expense.
Just in their part, that's their match. Yeah.
And labor, anybody that volunteers for labor, and of course, we'll have some money available to throw in the pot. So I'm not asking the town to spend any of the taxpayers' money.
You just gotta go through us.
I just wanna, right,
Sounds good to me. I don't understand.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah.
I make a motion that the town work alongside North Main Woods to apply for a grant through the Land and Water Conservation Fund to update the building on Main Street. We would be acting as your pass-through agent
and purchase the Sutherland property.
and purchase the Sutherland property. Thank you.
Any more discussion on that?
So go ahead.
Did I miss a part? Is there
Nope,
something
that
I
was
missed?
good, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I just wanna make sure that you're good also with that first step, That's the first thing we have to do in that packet, is to call down and have that group come up and review
The site.
our site and our idea and make sure we're all good.
are you gonna call them, or do we have to?
What do you think's best?
I think you can call them in that way, because it's your grant, and then if they want a need or whatever, we can do that.
I may have one of you guys present so that we
Yeah.
can tie in the fact that it's a municipal.
Municipal grant, yes, yeah. Yeah, that sounds good, yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Wish you luck.
Anything else you need me for?
Run like him.
All right, run like that. All right, now you can have my seat, yeah. See you later, thank you.
Yeah, so, review and discuss school budget monthly payment.
Just really some info, if the school budget did go up, not a lot, but quite a bit. But anyway, this is our monthly payments, appropriations will be 111,14439.
Do you remember what it was last year?
It was 90, I wanna say it was 92 or 96.
Was it
Yeah,
96?
was it, Tracy, 96? Yeah. So that one's just really, just so you guys know there, information, what we'll be doing.
That's due on the 20th of the month, right? You came on the 20th?
Yeah, well, yeah, mostly, yeah, we kinda, we do it 30 days. Better than it was.
It is better than it was.
Yeah.
So is that gonna affect our budget for the year?
We did put some into that, you remember when I had added that extra bit, because I was told, we got a warning about it, Joel had told us, and so I added something in case that happened. So it's gonna, I don't think it'll bring up the mill rate. I think will be right even so far.
Down the road, maybe we can have it, we think it's gonna be like in black and white, just to make sure that we're on the same, you know, that we're not, it hasn't gone up that much. I mean, you think it's gonna go up, but.
Oh, I won't know, I mean, the school, until they pass their budget, we don't know really what it's gonna go up to then. Oh, yeah, it's bad, that's it, this is it, that's the thing I just got that. But we won't know before, when we're doing our budget, we don't know that in advance, so we kind of assume,
Okay.
yeah.
Number 3, wind turbine development.
Basically, Dave, someone came here, Green Development, their company is called. They own the old, re-energy plant, not the property on this side, but where the office building is there, and then they own property in Garfield on the other side of the line. They came over here, they wanna build a biochar plant, and they want to, I'm looking at Ronnie, because he got the same spiel as we did, because he knows what to do. And they're gonna use the windmills, apparently, to back up that plant for power if they need it, or whatever.
Well, they say that they really need to produce quite a bit of their own power.
Yeah,
And
and that's.
the
what
opposite, that they will buy what they're
Right.
short of, but
That's how they do it. So their goal, I think, is 11 or 12 windmills, and 6 of them are on your side in Garfield, and I think 6 are in Ashland. This is what they want to do. They need to apply for the state. Of course, they haven't even done that. They were just checking, if we were willing to do that. Basically, it's up to the council. Right now, we do not have an ordinance on windmills. We don't even have a moratorium or anything. So, I think what Dave is suggesting here in his letter that he wrote to the planning board was to develop a moratorium until they can do an ordinance or something, so that we have more say on where they're gonna put these windmills or not. But that's basically what his letter is. this is the map here where you see the white areas are on Ashland side or where they're putting, and then Garfield is on the other side of the line, you can see where they put there.
They said they had to connect, the lands had to
Yeah.
connect, they
Yeah.
can't like jump over,
No,
you know.
no. So in other words, if Ashland doesn't do it, I don't think Garfield will do it. So if Garfield doesn't do
Well,
it, Ashland will do it.
And we have not much say because Lorick.
Oh, that's true, yes, Lord.
They're our board. so-
Yeah, so they would make that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and it's a little different in Ashland, they would go by our ordinances, and which we do not have now. So he's gonna have to, you know, he wanted you guys to be aware of it, so that's why he sent this letter to all of you.
The way he talked also, it was a big number that they would be investing in that plan,
Oh, yeah,
a big number.
yeah, and yeah, 'cause it was, yeah, it was in the millions.
Yes.
So, looking at that map, they have windmills all over the town.
Well, they,
You,
I didn't look at them.
They're all down there.
They're all in that
If
area.
I'm understanding this map correctly, they have, this circle here means proposed GE wind turbine.
Yeah.
So they have,
You're in a line
I guess, these are the two here, these are the proposed ones.
on that.
And these ones, they're proposing more Penny Lane over approval. So
Oh,
they
yes,
have-
you're right, yes. Yeah, they have one, some of Mark Rafford,
1, 2, 3,
and Mark Northeast Pellet.
4, they have
Yeah,
quite a few.
they have, I don't know what this is one way
That's
out
right
here.
behind my house, so, pretty excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that'll be nice, yeah, actually, I didn't see that one till just now. So, I think what the biggest issue they wanted you guys to know was that this can happen if, you know, if the planning board doesn't do a moratorium, right off, and if you don't want the windmills, then, you know, that's gonna start the process.
So how far out will they be going, how many miles, or?
Not
Not
far.
far, no.
They're not far, they're in the area, so,
Because I can tell you one thing, when they did it in Mars Hill, I was delivering out there with a coal truck, one blade, I put my truck up beside a blade and took a picture, and I still needed another 40 feet to truck for one blade.
These are bigger than Mars Hill. They're double as bigger, they're the same as Smyrna, it's comparable, but they said they're a lot bigger than those ones as well. So these are humongous, but there is another thing that's going against them is the bat.
Yeah.
The bats, there's bats over there that are endangered or something, so they can't, they have to do a test tower, and if the bat, if it bothers the bats or whatever, then it's all off. So,
I do know they were complaining, the town residents of Mars Hill was complaining about the wind, and when I used to work part-time for Kevin Robinson, we had to go paint some towers over there. I was down on Main Street, and if the wind blows harder than those turn, I could hear that, I could hear what they were saying.
That's why you need a moratorium.
yeah, that's why you need that moratorium. Yeah, and I think Dave is gonna do it, he just wanted the council aware of what
What was going on?
was going on, and that it's, you know, it's not anywhere as yet, because they still gotta get state licenses and that's
Oh, yeah,
just
it's a long ways.
It's a long ways, but I
Yeah.
think, in other words, we should start something if you don't want those windmills.
It also has to be so far from the dwelling, because in the wintertime, when you get freezing rain, there could be a sheet of ice on those blades when they spin.
Well, not if you don't have any ordinance.
No, yeah, I have.
I'm just telling you what I,
Don't know.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying there's some things.
Yeah, but that's why it says in there, it says they will put in place a moratorium on the permitting of large wind turbines until we're able to come up with an ordinance addressing it. So the moratorium would be the, you know, the planning board doing it, and then the ordinance would be you guys working together and getting an ordinance.
Do you need a motion on that or anything?
You should.
Or they-
You should get a motion on it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Here we go. I make a motion that we place a moratorium on large-scale wind projects in Ashland until the planning board has had a chance to explore it further and develop a policy.
Any more discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Yeah, I'll have Dave start on that, because I think it's gonna go, I think the moratorium has to be approved by the, signed off again. I don't know if there's a public hearing for a moratorium, I think there is, but I'll have to check on that.
Okay, old business. Garfield representative to address the council.
Well, when we were here earlier, you guys kind of put that on hold for a bit. What we were talking about was the police department.
Yep.
And, so it's been on hold, so now we're here to find out if you've discussed it or if you're gonna discuss it or what. But the problem or our side of it is that, one year we had a 70% increase in the police protection. And that was quite a jump, you know. At our meeting, we voted to pay the same as we did last year. And that's where it stands right now. I don't know, you have anything to add, Chet? But anyway, you know, when you were talking with Masaris and telling them that, you know, when you opt out of certain things, that kind of a penalty, or, you know, you're getting a little bit of a deal because you're doing everything. Well, we've been doing everything for years. We're the only ones that support the police department. So we're just wondering if, there's some common ground here that, you know, we can come to. It didn't pass by like one vote, so, you know, somewhere south of that, of what you were asking, might fly, you know, if we had to revisit it.
There's a lot of opposition to no police department, I don't think.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it, so.
Yeah.
That's where we're at, we're kinda split. Like, Ronnie's right, the vote was one vote off of nothing at all, or offering $15,000.
I can explain the increase, and then it's up to the council. The
Correct.
increase came because Nashville, Sardis, and Ashland were all together in the police. So it went by population. The formula didn't change, it's still going by population, but Nashville bowed out. So it's sort of like the
So we're a bigger
school.
percentage?
Huh?
So we're a bigger percentage?
You're a bigger
than we were.
percentage, and it just gets divided, so whatever money that we deduct from you, Ashland will be paying that portion.
Right.
So it's totally up to the council, I'm just saying that will mean that you're not based, the formula is no longer based on population, it'll be based on population minus the percentage that Ashland people will have to pay to patrol Garfield. And that's why it's a formula, it just goes by population. If the population decreases, the prices go up. But I mean, again, that's up to
But
the
the
council.
formula is not like set in stone because, we don't really know exactly what we're getting, you know.
We get a lot of costs to Garfield.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and recently,
yeah.
there is a presence, yes,
Yeah.
that we just don't know what
Yeah.
it is.
That's,
That's another little, you know, like, what are we getting, you know?
yeah.
2 patrols a month, or, you know?
Oh, you get more than that.
I know
And
that.
we get called out in the middle of the night, that no one's working, that has to get out and come, walk in and go to Garfield, and it's,
But if we don't see that,
well,
you know, as a council,
Yeah.
like, you know.
I don't know how to explain that. We can't give you names of where we go.
No, but you could
We
say
can-
we made 3 domestic calls, or.
Yeah, and we used to
Like
do
you
that,
do
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that would help probably a lot of your residents out if they saw.
Right.
We used to do
You
it
know, like
before
I
we,
say,
before it went to that, that's how it was done. It was an hourly, it wasn't an hourly, it was a per call
basis.
and
Yeah.
plus mileage, and that's how we were doing, but we couldn't say where, we could give you
Correct.
an area, but we couldn't say the call.
Right.
And that's how we were doing, and then when it went on a population basis for everything, that's how it changed.
Okay.
But we can start doing, we can tell you that we're going to these complaints, and list the complaints, we just can't list names and.
Correct, yeah. But it's easier to sell if you
Yeah,
have, have something to show, you know.
So, the last meeting and the meeting before, we had discussed it amongst the council,
Right.
and ultimately what we decided was the price we gave is the price that we gave.
Okay.
And that's, with all the towns. So originally, it was all one lump sum, and then we allowed you guys to vote each department separately. and now we're getting, well, we only wanna pay this much for that department.
Yeah.
And it's not just you guys, it's other towns, so we decided that the price that we came up with was the price that.
Well, I saw that in your negotiations with the other towns, you know, that, you know, and I understand that you can't have favorites, or you can't favor somebody, it has to be even, I understand that.
I was under the impression that the police department was excluded from that.
It is, it's,
But
yeah, you don't
it's
have to
separate,
get the
yeah.
police, it's separate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Number two is basically, you know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I didn't know what Garfield exactly was in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what's number three?
That's executive, but do you wanna do the manager's
We
report?
can do that, thanks.
And then go to executive, and that way everyone can.
Sure.
Okay, there's another training coming up, in August, on August 22. It's a Zoom one, I haven't got all the details yet, it's the Freedom and Access Act. And that is, something that Sherry, you already took it,
We all got it.
you all got the
We
Freedom?
all got it, it's part of
Oh,
it.
oh, okay, so I don't, oh.
If you haven't
Oh,
brought
so
your
it was in
paperwork
with the
in
other
yet,
one?
though, bring it into the office.
Yes,
Make
I
a
need
copy
to,
and bring it
because I
in.
have Sherry's and I have Tom's. Tom, you must have taken it somewhere.
We took
I
it,
took it a couple of years before that.
Yeah, okay, I have yours and I have that, but I don't have the three of you for whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring it
So
in.
this is
Oh,
certificate?
I hope it's in the packet that I threw on the town.
Yes, please. Yeah, we just put it in your file and then that way, you
I
know.
think I did,
you
I
have
saw
that.
my name, I grabbed something, but I put it all in a packet.
All right, well, then we don't have, I don't have to worry about August 22. Okay, cancel that.
But it was pretty educational.
Yeah.
The one 2 years ago, they didn't discuss things that we talked about this time.
No.
Is this what you want?
I thought it was.
I thought it
Yes,
was similar.
please, if I can get a copy of it, I'll copy it after.
The funny
Okay.
girl was still the funny girl,
Mhm.
yeah, in the middle.
We're gonna try to attempt to set the mill rate. The assessor is coming to do all the punching in of the numbers on the 15th. And anytime after the 15th, we can set the mill rate. Do you wanna wait? It's totally up to you. I personally would like to get that mill rate set as soon as we can. Or you can wait till the August meeting, which would be August 12th, I believe.
13th is a
13th, I
Tuesday.
can't see, yeah, 13th, or you can do it any other time after the 15th. It's not something that takes long, we can do it in the morning, we can do it at night, we can do whatever you want, on that, or if, and then again, if you wanna wait till the August meeting, we can do that. But that's gonna extend when we can send out our,
Means more apt
it
to
means,
have
yeah,
to,
less tan, money, and,
Exactly.
yeah.
so we're better off to try to do it in July.
You just
Those days are.
choose a date for the three, of you, whatever you guys want, and we can go. You can, like I say, we've done it in the past, and we've done it in the early morning at 7 before someone goes to work, but I don't know what time you guys go to work. Or you can do it at night,
Does work good for you?
Yeah.
That works great for me.
Works good for me.
Where are we at here?
The week of the 22nd of July, maybe, that's the week after the tax guy would be here.
yeah, yeah,
So that would, so I can't do the 24th for sure.
Okay.
I can't do it the 26th.
Okay,
Tuesday, the
23rd at 7 AM? Does that work for you, Tom?
No,
No?
I'll be in Holden at that time.
Okay.
I can do Monday afternoon, like after 2.
The 22nd in the afternoon? I could do it too. Well, that'd be weird.
I wouldn't be able to, I could do like 6 if, would 6
Monday after evening? Yeah, I can do it anytime after 2 o'clock on Monday.
I think
Does that work for you,
22nd
Joe?
should work for
Monday
me.
at 6 P.M.?
Yeah.
What's the date again? I'm sorry.
22nd.
July 22nd, 6 o'clock. And it's not something that takes long, it's just a matter of choices of the mill rates, and we'll figure out how much overlay we'll have.
July 22nd at 6.
Number, we're all set with that?
Yep.
Okay. Number three, like I said, the cameras are up and working. My goal is to try to get it put on the webpage starting next week. He does have to come back in to show us how to, do it, that it goes right to the computer. So hopefully next week we'll get the webpage. It'll be coming on automatically after every council meeting, every special town meeting, or any of those events. Anytime we have a meeting in here, we'll film it, or record it, I should say. So that's up and running.
Okay. All the other cameras are set up too, or?
They're still working on the, rec in the library. They have the library facing outside, but they got working in the rec to do the new access, point for the area on aging. So they're working on that. That should be done. Just so noted here, some of these here, the total for the paving on Wrightville Road was $48,736. They said they would stand at 50. We got our, money, well, we didn't get it, we were awarded our money for the, what they call the, LRAP, that's, road assistance. The state sends us, and it's $41,076. Last year was $40,560, but we don't have that yet. They'll send that to us. So this kind of washed in one, but anyway. So the other thing is, the library, I'm gonna probably let Hillary, if she wants to talk to you about that, if that's okay before we do anything. She just, can give you the numbers here. I'll let you do it. I thought I could give you sheets, but I found out I can't because I'm not allowed to give names.
Do you have the other one that I gave you today? Alright, yeah. I just updated some of the statistics for the library. You can all take a look at this one. This just shows how I updated the population for each town based on what they've been using. And then updated all of the new cards that we've gotten and stuff from all of the different towns.
If you can just tell us the numbers, so that way they...
So, let's see, so, do you want all of the towns, or do we just want Masardis, which is the main?
You can give all the towns, that way we'll know.
So
Yeah.
Garfield had 16 here, I'm gonna sit while I do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, so Garfield had 16 people with library cards before, now they have 20. This is just as of this year. Masardis had 29, now they have 34. Nashville, 4, now they have 6. Oxbow had 5, they got one more, so they have 6. Portage had 41 library cards, and now they have 51. So all of the towns have gotten more library cards since the beginning of the year. Let's see, 25% of the population of Garfield have library cards. 16% of Masardis' population have them. 15% of Nashville, 9% of Oxbow, and 14% of Portage. And then, so far, I don't need to read you all of it, so last year, so, I'm just gonna say this because this makes me really happy. So last year, we had 482 visits from those 5 towns total. This year alone, like already, we're already at 404, so.
Just halfway through the year. Wow.
Yeah. And that's not including like the yard sale fundraiser that we did, or the Bigfoot presentation, or anything like that. So far, I went through every day that we have had people, we write down who comes in, what town they're from, so I can look up how many people have actually been checking books out and using the library services so far this year. We've had 26 from Masardis this year, Hold on, I have the other one.
Well, she's looking, the Bigfoot thing was a great family, activity, and there were people from all over, Presque Isle, Masardis, Portage, Ashland. Somebody was even from the place where the Bigfoot was that New York?
New Jersey.
Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah. So that was a good, whatever, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that
So
was
how are you
cool.
getting the word out there for people to know what's going on in Ashland Library?
Facebook, so I do a lot of my posts on Facebook, I post, usually weekly, daily, and then monthly. And then I also put out the flyers on the library door, and then if I have a big event like the yard sale fundraiser, which we had probably 200 people go to, those ones I put on all of the Facebook groups for all of Aroostook. So all of those get put out, and then I advertise it on the news sites too, like their websites. You can, post events, I forget what it's called. But yeah, and then I call and harass them too.
No, good for you. I think you need a round of applause for that.
Done very well.
She did submarines today.
Yes, we did submarines, yes. Alright, so I'll just do this real quick. So Portage has 20 people so far that actually come in and use it. Nashville's 4, Oxbow's 4. This is, so I made an Excel sheet because I was tired of going through and counting all of the little pieces of paper that we write everyone's name down on every day. So I made a sheet with the date and how many people from each town came and used the library that day. So this is for 2024 so far. So we've had 182 people from Masardis come in and use the library so far. Portage had 122, Garfield 54 people, and let's see, Nashville was 14. I think that's Nashville 1, 2. 32 from Oxbow, 16 from Mapleton, which is like the border, because that's technically, what's that lake?
Squoting.
Yeah, yeah. So Ashland, I even did too. Ashland had 1,770 visits. So the next highest town using our library is Masardis with 182. So, yeah.
Well, it's nice that all communities.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just thought the library was a library.
Oh, there's so much more, which is doing tea parties,
tea parties,
and
events.
Rotaries to the kids, and crafts, and
Yard sales, all the stuff that goes through their projects, and that's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I have for the manager's report.
Do council items? Gail, do you have any others?
Oh, no, not this time, I guess. Wait a minute. I already asked her how come our council emails weren't being used, I got the answer to that, so, oh, yes, I wanted to address the meeting and the way that was set up for when we did the night of the voting. I think we need to be more clear on things, because everybody thought there was a, 10 or 15 minute time to vote, and actually the way it's worded, that's the way it looked like it was supposed to, and I don't believe you can put a 15-minute limit on voting like that, can you?
No, there was no 15-minute limit though, there was just a voting
But
after.
that's why I say it's gotta
Oh.
be done more clear, our agenda for the meetings and what went out to the public. Everybody was confused about that, because it looked like you had 10, 15 minutes to vote.
Yeah, no, well, that's,
Because it said
When you
that,
vote-
it said that the meeting started at 6 for the voting, and then our council meeting started at 6:15.
right, I have to do that, because the council meeting has to be exact, so I have to take a guess. It didn't happen, you know, because we were still voting, I think it was 6:30, but I have to put a time for the council meeting, because if I don't put a time,
If he would've put 6:45, we would've had to wait till.
we would have to wait till 6:45, if I would've put, so, what I put was
So how
just,
can you do that to make it more clear so that the public understands?
man, I don't know how, I could check into it, but that's how everyone does it, you have to put a start time for the council, if you're doing something back to back, you have to put a start time. You take into consideration, well, I don't know, maybe there won't be a lot, but a lot of times we've done these and we've sat and waited for 10, 15, because I put it like at 6:30, and all of a sudden everything's done at 6:10, and we're all sitting here, because you can't start the council meeting, because it's posted at that time, and that's what it's gotta be. So that's why I put 6:15, and I didn't realize we'd get,
Okay, well, I think
Yeah.
that something like that, though, we would know that would be big, that, you know, we should,
Yeah.
So, maybe next time,
6:30 for
Yeah.
something.
maybe next time we can do it on a different date or something.
Yeah, I was just
That's
gonna-
partially,
that's
I
easy.
kinda wanted to put it into one meeting, but probably that wasn't the right.
yeah, and we had talked, we thought, that was just time, you know, next time, something like that, we'd probably have to give it a half an hour, maybe, or more.
Anything else?
That training we've gone to, they discussed things that I don't see us over here, we kind of follow it, but we kind of tweak things. And one thing is about reviewing, people, was it personnel? You said the other day, or just a few minutes ago, that, you know, we used to do things in the past that we don't do now. I'd like to see us, like, go back to where, things that are handled differently, that are not handled the same now, and it's just, we need to go through our record keeping and just personnel, what's that word I'm looking for? It was,
Personnel policy.
progress on people, how they perform throughout the year.
Oh, annual
Oh,
review.
Annual reviews.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be, you know, you just say, you know, how's, you know, Joe Blow down at the town garage, how are things going over there? And not wait for things to go bad before it comes to our attention that we have to make a decision on something. It's just, if they're looking for a raise, well, you know, your performance wasn't that great.
But the council doesn't give annual reviews. That is not something that can happen. You don't give employees annual reviews, that's the town manager's job. If, you know, if you wanna change that, I don't know how you're gonna do that. But that's why it becomes like micromanaging. You really have no say on what this foreman is doing in the highway or something like that. You know, you can ask, but you don't give a review, and you don't go question, you don't do that. That's just not something that we do.
The only annual review that would fall
It's
to us
mine.
is Sears.
Yeah,
That's the only one.
that's the
Everybody
only
else is
annual
under
review
him.
you can do.
It would be like us, like the school board evaluating teachers, they hire the superintendent principal to do that. If you hire that head person that does that. So our review would be Sears.
All right. That's all I got.
That was why I brought up my stuff, that seems to be underway.
Good thing, sure.
Oh, I just.
Go ahead, no.
I wanted to catch you before you closed it out, it was all,
No.
you have something, go ahead.
Well, I do have an idea, but I should have asked you ahead of time. I watched you at the training, madly taking notes, and I was thinking about, because it's fresh for you, I wondered if you would be willing to put together a packet for new council members, so that when somebody comes on the council, you could say, maybe you could sit with them for an hour and say, here, these are the things that you have to know, and a lot of this stuff was right, and it's fresh for you, so I know you were badly
Right,
writing,
I
and
don't,
it's
I
like,
don't feel comfortable yet doing that, I don't feel like I'm there yet to do something like that.
but if you
so.
could pull together your notes, you are remembering the things that people don't necessarily know when they get on the thing. Just put together some notes,
Well, there is a book you can,
purchase.
well, you can print it out for free.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
MMA.
printed one off, yeah. As
Oh,
long as
you did-
make an
yeah.
MMA account, you can print it off.
Because she was requesting one, and you can get that online. I inquired about that after the meeting. You can get that online.
Yes, I found that out too,
Yeah.
yeah.
so, anyways, that was the only thing I was thinking, I was like, oh, because
But I think the main they're referring to would be the
the
MMA
things
minutes,
together, yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
And my other thing was, whatever happened back, I was at one of the meetings, they talked, it was back when Janet Jondro, I believe, was on here, and there was COVID money, and she asked about the fence being fixed at the park. And that fell under one of the categories, if I remember right, and you were gonna check into that to see about getting that, because that's an eyesore. If you want
Well,
to
we
talk
want-
about eyesores, that's,
There was,
That's
nix-
an eyesore.
there was nixed on that, someone wanted to remove it completely and not put a fence.
Well, either fix it up or remove it.
Well, I
That's what,
think-
yeah, and it never was decided on where
I
you
think
want.
if it's a playground there and there's kids playing, it absolutely needs a
Yeah,
fence. I don't think that should be removed, but something
Yeah.
needs to be done
Yeah.
to fix it up, because
Yeah.
that is a
Well,
complete
some of it was down,
eyesore.
but some of them put some effort into it, because it's.
Yeah, the highway, I have had, since having the highway's gone in and they've done some, whatever they can to do to repair it, just add it. I mean, but as far as, they never really came up with a
So
verdict
there's
on
no full
replacing or
money.
taking it off.
So could the ARPA money be used for that?
We don't have much ARPA money left, I can get a quote and see what it would cost, and we can use it.
Did we use the ARPA money on the rec center
Yeah.
to make it,
We
That
got
was-
that's
that's
a
what we used
warming
the ARPA
center,
money for,
and
the
I
rec
will.
warming
Partially, but there's still.
there was
uh,
like 77,000
There was
in it.
17,000 left
Left
when we did the
after-
cameras and then the cameras. So there is still some left. I can look into what it would cost to replace the fence. I don't know if putting a wooden fence would be cheaper than the metal. I don't know how. I can look into it. I can look into it.
Hold up that long, with our winters and
I
our,
wouldn't, no, we
yeah,
probably have to
can't
go
see
back
that,
in.
yeah.
No.
But that's one thing I've noticed in the past, we've discussed something, and all of a sudden, 2 years goes by, or 3 years go by, and like, we never returned to visit it.
Well, I travel by there every day,
Yeah.
and that fence actually does bother me, it's like, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely terrible. If we're talking about eyesores around town and stuff, to me, that's one of them right there.
Is that it?
So
Yes, I'm done.
do you want to make a motion on replacing or doing something now? This is what
Oh.
happens. It stops and then we don't know what.
You're right, so, yeah, I guess we can make a motion to get a quote or something on what it would cost to
Yeah.
replace the fence. I can't,
I make a motion that we get a quote on what it would cost to replace or repair the fence, either, you could have it both ways.
Replacing probably quicker than repairing.
And probably cheaper too, but you can have it both ways,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, I get a couple quotes either or, yeah.
kind of like.
If nobody else. I just figured she might want a second. Right?
Yeah.
Well, not second it.
all in favor of getting a quote?
Getting a quote, yep.
So moved. You good?
Yep.
All right, I had one thing, the tennis courts at Blade did a great job clearing. Can we put nets up there or do something so people can actually enjoy it before it grows back up?
You can if you want, right?
I don't know if you could,
I was
I
just
mean,
gonna say
it's in good shape, but to play tennis on, I don't know, because there's all some cracks in it and stuff, I don't know. I know my son, he's all excited about it, he got a quote, how much it cost to fix it. That was like $40,000. Oh, $40,000, yeah, but I don't know, you know. I guess I don't know how good they are for, I just don't know, like, you're gonna step in a crack and twist your ankle, or, you know what I
Oh,
mean,
the
that's
cracks
the
down
only
there,
thing.
you know.
I mean, I'd be willing, I mean,
Or maybe that's another motion for an estimate on what it would
Yeah.
cost to get the cracks fixed.
at least the cracks, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you start there, right?
I suppose.
Because they do it, I'm impressed how good it does look after they did it, it really does,
It-
yeah.
And if we make a motion to just do it, we don't know what we're
No,
spending,
yeah,
so
we need to
we,
get a quote.
All right, so I can make a motion that we get an estimate on what it would cost to get the surface fixed at the tennis courts. I don't know if that's crack seal or,
I don't know what the material would be either to do it correctly.
I don't know, I'll have to check, and Wendell can help me with it or something, yeah.
thank you, Wendell, thank you, Sue.
Yeah, okay.
Can you
No,
do a
it's
second?
good to have
I
it.
would second that, yeah. All in favor? That's all I had.
How we doing with the park over there anyway, buddy? How's that? I know we got a thing here talking about it, but how we're,
I think it's pretty well,
Falling to the
there's
cracks?
no way around it.
no way around it.
Not legal.
So actually, if we were to, well, yeah, it's not legal, and if we do decide to move forward with it, then we can't get any more grants, like this one that we talked about tonight.
You have to pay that one back as well.
You
can't even just pay it
Not
back.
just pay it back, you gotta replace the park, which I think is kinda foolish, because they only got 50,000, they got 25, and the match is 25, but the way the rules are got on there, it says if you do something with that, you have to build back a park in equal value. So the value of that park, if it's valued at 100,000, is what you gotta put in and build it somewhere else. So, that's the clincher right there.
I know Buddy and his lawyer were looking into it,
Yeah.
but I haven't really heard anything, but the last one that I heard is they're,
When he called me the same thing and told me the same thing.
so Prescott, I was in that situation where the old outdoor pool used to be, and the indoor pool, and they tore it down, and now,
In Presque Isle, they tried, they couldn't get, Buddy couldn't go to Presque Isle neither, he told me, because of that. They were trying to get him to go into the, where the horses used to race or whatever, the fair.
Oh, the fair.
And they couldn't do it because of that grant, they ran into that wall over there too. So, that's why I think he's
You
decided.
can still hold events and stuff, from what? 'Cause of-
Technically, according to that, we're not supposed to, but we do. Yeah, we do.
so with him, I mean, he could do that if we allow it, just like when they used to have the mud run and the truck pulls there.
Yeah.
But that he has to get a special insurance policy each time, it costs a lot more.
And clean it up after every race.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be feasible.
Did you have a question?
I was just wondering if you guys ever found out what was actually done with that grant, when you got it back in 2008?
Yeah, I did have it's 2000, what we did with it, what do you mean?
Yeah, what was the $25,000 grant used for at the park?
I don't have
It
the
was
grant with me.
the
They did
new
put,
And that building,
they built a building.
that building.
They built a building, they gave us a campsite.
Actually,
and something else.
I can remember, I put that together, when Jim was here, he said there was a three phases to that, and that was only one phase that we did.
No, we did two phases. Phase one
You
was
can't
the
say.
work that you guys did, or whoever did it, on the mud pits. Phase one was the mud pits, it was not involved in the
No.
There
grant.
was no money for
What's the
mud
money?
pits.
No,
Well,
mud
it's
pits.
a track.
The,
Yeah, that's
track-
all
truck
I'm
pull.
saying.
The truck pulls, whatever,
Okay,
yeah,
they do that.
that's, whatever that truck pit is
So
there.
that must be the lighting that was put up there.
Yeah,
and that was
probably,
phase
that
building.
one.
Probably that
The building was a big one.
Phase two was part of the building.
Yeah.
Phase two was the playground, the building, 6 campsites, water testing, and part of the in-kind stuff was like Skip in the town and Boys Work in Town. We, Burby's did $3,000 of in-kind work,
Yeah.
that's on the receipt.
That's on that.
Yeah, or like just cut the
Exactly.
wood
Some
for
stuff.
the, for the.
Yeah, and that was part of the in-kind
Yeah.
of that second part of the grant, and the third part never got done. But the first part was those original, whatever they are,
It was that the campsites was improved,
was in second
and
part.
then in the playground.
Yep.
What
Oh,
was
the playground,
what was
yeah, the
third part
playground.
that didn't get-
I don't know what the third part
I
was.
almost believe it was supposed to be a ball field.
So does that do anything to your grant, that you didn't properly
Yeah.
complete it the way you're supposed to begin with anyway?
Yeah, it was completed.
Well,
It was completed because they ran out of money. They didn't have enough money to finish, so that's why phase 3 didn't
It
get,
never happened.
yeah,
I remember the time,
yeah.
but the playground probably took up quite a bit.
I was like, yeah.
I can't remember if it was over there.
All right, so we'll shut the camera off and ask you to
And
send
this
out.
was just down?
Yes, switch